Hello and welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. This is our first Steam podcast of 2019. It's been a little while. There's been the holidays, there's been some moves, well, my move, and there's just a lot of stuff that's happened, but we are here, we're back, and looking forward to another awesome year. And with me, she was there throughout 2018, and now she's back for 2019, Roadie Pie.
Yay! Thank you. I'm so glad that I'm gonna be like full-time co-host on the show. It's like we're gonna have like special guests and everything like that. It's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, when I have a bit more prep time, so you see that third box next to Roadie, when we don't have a guest, I want to have something there, like maybe like just a mini thing of the list or something like a picture or something or other. But yeah, so that's our start. Yeah, welcome everyone. And I guess now, since it's been technically 3 weeks, this may take a bit longer, but Roadie Pie, please let us know, what have you been up to this last 3 weeks?
So I'm gonna maybe do this a bit quicker. So obviously Final Fantasy 14, the new patch came out, so I've been playing through that. I'm currently playing Darkside Detective on my stream, and that's such a fun game. I'm having so much fun compared with, Wondersun, which I did finish. This is just like, it's faster, it's funny, and everyone's just having so much fun with it who come and watch, and I'm doing silly voices as well, so that's great.
Man. Yeah, that's it's good to have that sort of game that you kind of laugh about.
Yeah.
As for me, like beyond the regular Final Fantasy 14 and the occasional dabble into Torchlight death permadeath mode, for Christmas I got a gift from my cousin, and that is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I've never played the Shantae series at all. Okay. It's like this sort of pixel art Metroidvania. It's a bit cheeky. It's a bit cheeky about stuff. Like it's not made as a mature game, but it definitely has some fan service, and it definitely has some very mature humor, but it's abstracted enough that a kid wouldn't get it, but it's just like and so that's been actually really fun to stream, because it gives me a lot to talk about, because the dialogue is great, very funny. They use a lot of really exotic dialogue, and I mean exotic like flummoxed, words that you don't hear that often, and that's been a blast. So they're standard English words, but they're just unusual. You don't hear them that often, and it's great. So clearly the writer had a thesaurus right there when they were working on it. and I, as an English major, I appreciate it.
Okay.
I guess that's probably all the gaming I've been able to do. It's been the move from one side of the country to the other. So,
yeah, I played a lot more. I was going to give you more of a list of the games. So I also played Glass Masquerade, which is like a puzzle game, and you've got to put like pictures together. But it's like glass. It's almost like, it looks like it's a wristwatch or a clock. And then you got to put the colors and things together, and it makes a beautiful picture. So I did all that in one go, and there was loads of the puzzles, and I got the DLCs and everything. But what else did I play? Crystal of Time, Nearwood, and Minecraft Story Mode, Dance of Death, and a normal Lost Phone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I played a lot.
So what's your completed to uncompleted now?
My completed uncompleted?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, like how many games have you finished of your library now?
So completed 168 out of 580.
Oh, okay. Did you get a few games over Christmas?
I got 7 games, and 2 of them I played over Christmas.
Okay.
So
3 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, but you're making it. Nice.
Yeah.
Akio, hello, welcome back.
Hey,
Yes,
Akio.
there is
Akio.
a new format. Although one of my kind critics has informed me the yellow might be a little too strong. So this is the layout that I like for now, but the actual how it's going to be in the future may change, like the color scheme, etc., to make it a bit more. Yeah.
Yay, it's Tata. Hi, Tata.
Hello, commentator. I missed you on my stream last night. I did not have the chatty window open, so I'm very sorry, but I'm glad you stopped by again. So, yeah, he also let me know that I had the wrong game on the Steam thing. That happens. Okay, so, I guess next is like before we look forward to 2019, just 2018. What Pie, if there was one or two things you liked or disliked or just thought was interesting about 2018 with Steam gaming, what is those?
Oh, okay. I was gonna I mean, for me, because I didn't get a lot of the like latest releases or anything like that. For me, it was just playing through my Steam list, so I can only go like comment on like a game or games that I really enjoyed. But I did get like one brand new game, and that was Unavowed, because that was from the guy who Widget Eye Games publisher. It's one man team, and he does like a lot of adventure games, and he did like the Blackwell series, and so this was his latest game outside of the Blackwell games, and it was just it was so much fun. And I as soon as I got it, I played it straight away, and I played it all the way through. But it wasn't a perfect game. There was some things I would love to have that would love to be included. Like whenever I do point and click games, I like there to be, maybe like sort of little side things you can do. I think that would have, especially for this game, that would have suited it. So you have to you're investigators, you're spooky investigators, and there's someone in your team that can speak to ghosts, but you have to select them before you go on a mission. And once that mission is done, and you bring him along so you can sort of like exercise the ghost, so make sure that they go to the next plane of existence. And if you don't bring him along, you can't do that, and there's no going back to actually do that. So I would have liked there to be sort of a side quest for you to be, if you didn't bring him along the first time, that you'll be able to go back to that site and help those ghosts out. So he's mentioned this himself, that he would have loved to. He didn't think, because I think when you play test this yourself, you're obviously only going your own narrative. You're not going, oh, what are other people thinking? So yeah, and I did speak to him what he was going to work on next, whether he was going to continue in that universe or if he was going to move on to do something else. And he says right now he's really unsure what he's going to do next, because it's kind of like you spend so long doing a single game and it's like, oh, I'm sick of this project already, then you want to move on to something else. But now that it's all done and dusted, it's like, do I go back?
And that can happen. That's why yeah, that can really happen with creative work. Like you've so invested, now it's just like, oh, I never want to see that universe again. Exactly.
Bad things, I think, and I think maybe you probably agree with me on this, it's like just Steam in general. It's this love-hate relationship that we have with Steam. It's great that it's a great avenue for creativity and everything like that, but there's so much dross on there. Oh my goodness, it's just especially when looking through this list this week, there was like 40 pages I had to look through, 40 pages, and a lot of them were just there was even one game called Data Mining, if you can believe it, and it had like several iterations of the same thing. So, and you just wonder how they can just let something like that on there. And I think they were trying to clean it up a bit when they said, "Oh, we're gonna get rid of those sexually explicit games." I think they were going to get rid of the not serious hentai games. You know what I mean? The ones that just put up. But then they messed that up by actually going after the legitimate people that put a lot of work into the game, and it was just like, oh, okay, we're not going to do anything now.
Yeah.
So all that, there's no regulation. There's no. It's just like whatever goes up goes up.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a real fan of like content control, but what they should really be doing is at least quality control. Like they need quality control. That's what they need.
Exactly.
It's not content; it's quality.
that is my issue. Yeah. So yeah, you've put it so simply. Yeah, it's quality control. That's what I want.
And they just Valve has the money. They do.
Yeah.
They have the money to hire some people to at least look at each game for a few minutes. Like each game for a few minutes, make sure that it meets a base minimum quality.
Yeah.
So, oof. Oh my gosh. And you know what? They could even do it in ways like, hey, we won't charge you the publishing fee until we give you the approval. Just so no one walks away like, oh, you took my money, and
Yeah. Absolutely. But well, actually, you know what? You could say we're going to give us the money to have a look through it to make sure that it works and everything, because that takes somebody to do. And then if like as everything is fine, then it can go up. Then I feel like that $100 that you given to put your game up, then that's gone towards somebody's salary. Somebody's giving it a look and making sure everything passes any tests and stuff. So
yeah, you know what? Actually, that's a perfectly reasonable thing too. And that way it doesn't hurt Valve's bottom line, because it's like you're paying for someone to look over your game, and that would also make it so that people would probably avoid publishing like games that they suspect wouldn't pass.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, need quality control. And anything else?
I think no. I just wanted to have two things that I really love and things that really didn't like. So, what about yourself? What about you?
Well, with it is like you basically covered it, because I think it was this year when they decided to do the whole like you just pay a fee and you publish on Steam. I think that was in February where they announced that. It was well before we started the show.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm pretty sure it's still 2018. So yeah, I think that moment when like Steam curation ended, there's so many different stages of middle ground they could have chosen before that.
Yeah.
It was frustrating, but that's why the show exists to a degree. But I mean, I would rather have the show exist, but also not have to sift through pages and pages of junk.
Yeah.
So we can be even more choosy and really choose like the best cream of the crop.
I know, absolutely.
And not miss anything, because I'm pretty sure we still miss stuff every now and then, because it's just this.
I thought this week that I definitely did, because I did see a couple of things, but I didn't know whether it was exactly good enough to put it on there. I wasn't sure. There's still one or two things I'm not too sure about on. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like, how they put the effort in? Do it's not entirely 100% sure. So
yeah, and with early access games, I'm like, maybe I'll see it like it's gonna be on the release page again when it comes out of early access. So I'm like, maybe I'll see what this looks like again later. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a process. So that was my dislike, pretty much the same as yours. My like though is it? I believe it's 2018 when it's been gradually happened, but the sort of pixel art revival. It's just there's been so many amazing pixel art games that came out in 2018, It
Yeah.
feels like I'm in the late 1990s again when it comes to gaming, and it's really nice. But it's with new tech. Like there's a lot of new stuff you can do with pixel art, and it's just fascinating
Mm,
that we have the technology to have a 4K display now, but
yeah.
developers are going back to that nice just pixel art design. And it's just really nice, and it's cool to see that even younger people are picking up these pixel art games and looking like, oh, this looks really nice. And
Yeah,
the younger generation who's used to the high definition stuff.
that's true. But they're also doing it with the animation is so much better as
Hmm.
well with it. And
Yeah.
this is it. Then they're doing it with sort of different techniques. Like if you look at Octopath Traveler,
Hmm.
there's that beautiful background and the pixel foreground. It's amazing.
Hmm. And instead of like 4 frames per second, it's more
Mm,
like they're doing it 15
yeah,
30 frames of sprites per second, and it's just
yeah,
looks so beautiful.
yeah,
A lot of work goes into it, but modern technology makes pixel art far less labor intensive than it used to be.
yeah.
So
No, for sure.
it's just such a cool thing, and 2018 really was the year the pixel art came.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
my mind, it's, at least on Steam. In Steam, it was the
yeah.
year
On
the pixel art
Steam.
came. Uh, yeah, Crosscode. Oh, that was another thing that came out this list. Of the sort
Mm.
of spew. It actually got fairly good reviews, but it is literally a game that teaches you how to be a builder in Fortnite. It's a Fortnite builder tutorial game. It's like, this is a thing? A game that is so big that people are making games to teach people how to play this game.
Oh. Oh, I remember which thing on Steam I was particularly, the we talk about the crap that they put on there. And this was just like this is one thing that was very well done, but it was like, why have you got it on here? So it's a sales thing for radiators. It's like we have these selection of radiators, and this is a 3D thing where you can have a look on it and tell us, so then you can order off our other website to see which one you want. And it's like, what? Really?
Get
Why
off
are you
Steam!
on Steam? Why are you on Steam? Why are you
Oh my
just on your
gosh.
main homepage? It's so bizarre. So
Oh my
bizarre.
gosh. That's so. I really hope that is just a one time thing and does not become a trend.
Oh my goodness. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me because it's like, hey, $100. Let's see if we can get, a few customers from this platform. It wouldn't surprise me.
Ugh. I hear my feeling exactly about the 3D and pixel art. Also, that's a terrifying idea. They're treating it like an
Mm,
app store. My gosh. Oh, okay. Well, that's the retrospective.
yes.
Um, let's look forward to the shining glory that 2019 will hopefully be. What are
Mm.
you looking forward to in 2019?
Let's see. I do have 3 games. I don't know if you want to put the search in
Mm-hmm.
Steam
Oh,
for
sure,
them.
you can do that.
Yes. So the first one is Jenny LeClue. Jenny
Jenny.
LeClue.
Ah, bingo.
Yes. So it's
Ooh, I like the style.
it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And it was a Kickstarter, and but this is Kickstarter done well. They've kept people up to date with any delays. They've shown people, this is going forward, this is what's happening, and it, they've taken their time with it. They made sure that everything is perfect. If there was like delays, they improved the animation or they did this, and it's a studio that has polished it, and it's going to be ready for release very soon, I think. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's point and click mystery, just everything. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, and it has that sort of that picture book style that was really popular
Yeah.
back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
If you're a kid of the 90s, this is probably a familiar art style, the sort of like angular, geometric shapes, all come together to make a picture, and it's really stunning and very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Detective.
Yeah, detective. I love
Detective.
And it's coming out for Steam, Switch, and PS4. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And Mineko's Night Market.
Mineko? Oh, yep, I spelled it right. Yes.
Yay! Night Market. So it's a game about you cultivate cats and you sell them in the night market. So it's about catting cats and eating eats. So
my word.
So it's adorable. It is adorable, and it was supposed to have come out last year, but they've delayed it, I think, to give it a bit more polish. And yeah, so it's one of those kind of farming type games, but there's also a story going on as well. So that ticks a lot of boxes for me. So I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know when in 2019 it's supposed to be coming out. So I know Jenny Leclue is at the beginning of the year. It might even be either this month, the end of this month, or next month. But this one, I've no idea. They've not given any recent updates at all.
I wonder, is this? I wonder where the developer's from. It's just published by Humble Bundle. Because the art style really reminds me. Because growing up, we had these Korean picture books, and this art style is very similar to that.
Yeah.
It's kind of that Korean children's book design.
Yeah.
Really nice look.
It's so beautiful. And it seems like it's going to be like a very sort of relaxing kind of game, like a bit like sort of Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley kind of, just relaxing and pottering around sort of game. So yeah, I can't wait for that to come out, and I can't wait to talk about it when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And
one more.
Sorry, the third and final game that I'm looking forward to this year is Headspun.
Bingo. Okay.
So it mixes like cartoon animation with FMV style games. I love FMV games. And it's like you play, I think, curators inside somebody's head, and you're trying to unlock your memories and everything. So you've got to help this person get the brain working again and sort out your memories and find out what happened to you. So
it's like a grim Inside Out sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure when this is supposed to come out. I know 2019, but again, I'm not 100% sure when. Prepare, recover, and remember. Yeah.
FMV has sort of had a revival this year with games finally. So FMV, I remember seeing the first FMV when I was a kid on a DVD, and it was just so hokey. But now I don't know, something like it's hit a threshold. It seems to be really late, like because the concept of FMV started way back in the 80s.
It used to go sort of hand in hand with a lot of point and click games.
Yep.
So you think games like Tex Murphy, and there were a couple of others. I can't remember off the top of my head. There was like a comic book kind of game. I can't remember the name of it now, but I can't remember it. But yeah, it would always be like you call your secretary and they'd have it be video. It's like, oh, I'm calling my secretary, and there'd be like, the FMV element to it. So it will be there, but it will be very small.
Yeah, there was a chemistry investigation game that was like that. Like you were trying to solve a crime, and it was like a chemistry science game. Yeah, and they had like full FMV, like as you were trying to solve the mystery. That was really interesting. I remember that.
Yeah, but now there's things like I have loads of them. Let me have a look. So we've played a few of them. There's the Madness of Dr. Decker, and they've got the guys who made that have a new one out as well, which came out the sort of the end of last year. Another detective one, and there's also Night Shift. Night Shift's a really good one. Sorry, Late Shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Late Shift, Contradiction, which is fantastic to watch. The acting in that is so amazing. It's such a great FMV game, and of course Her Story, and but you know, there's a lot of bad ones as well. So
like,
many bad ones.
Like there's one, I think The Quiet Man, was that what it was called?
Oh yeah.
That one is famously bad.
Yeah,
it's just like people play it because they know it's so bad.
Yeah. Oh, another good one is The Bunker. Bunker is one. Oh yeah, and the latest one from the makers of those F&B games is The Shape-Shifting Detective, and that came out in November. So yeah,
I think didn't we even talk about that one? I think we did.
We might have done. Yeah, we might have.
Oh, maybe it was with Top Gun Bunny that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an interesting game, and it was a cool idea. Like, you're a shapeshifter. That was just neat. Let me see. And for my 2019 anticipations, like, main thing is just well, of course, not just Steam, but there's a new Final Fantasy expansion. But on Steam, there is this lovely. It started as a Kickstarter game, Temtem. This is a online multiplayer Pokemon-esque game. Now, it's all its own designs. They're not using the Pokemon IP at all.
Oh yeah, I think I did hear of this one. Yeah.
Yep, I did actually back it, but I don't back things very often. But this one was just like, I want this so badly. It's a very beautiful game. It's got a lot of very neat ideas, and it just allows you to finally play a sort of multiplayer Pokemon game. They do have a core story, of course. It's not just a sandbox.
Oh, that's good.
Just the animation style, it's so striking. It's sort of they are a studio from Spain, and the art style definitely sort of evokes that very like crisp European aesthetic when it comes to animated cel-shaded games. So it's very pretty. It is very pretty, very crisp.
Yeah, this is the thing. If it's expansive enough, you know what I mean. If it's like a big enough world, then I think it will do very. Depends on how things are when they first release it, because it's like if you get through the content really quickly, it's like, all right.
Yeah, because then that's you waited a lot of years and suddenly. Not a whole lot.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the thing about Final Fantasy, 14. They bring out new content very quickly, but they have a big team of like 200 people or something like that, Whereas something like this, you hope they keep bringing out content if it's going to be kind of like an MMO sort of game.
Yep. And that's probably like it's not going to be known whether it's a real success until about a year out. Like how well did they keep updating it over that first year? And that kind of tells you. But I really hope this is going to scratch that itch. And I think the Pokemon Company is going to feel really regretful if this game's a success, because they've sort of missed the boat on that Pokemon MMO.
I'm still surprised they haven't done anything like that. It takes MMOs. They take a lot of money, and there's a big risk like developing them, because it's like they put hundreds of millions of dollars into them, and sometimes they don't like work out, and this is it. Well, a lot of MMOs don't work out, so it's a big loss, I think, if you can't get it this monetary success.
Yep. And that's basically my 2019 anticipations. I think There's going to be a lot of cancer that ends up on Steam. A lot of these really kind of spewing games, but you know what? There's still gems that come out every week that are very worthwhile. I'm also looking forward to seeing Twitch, Discord, and Epic Games expand their stores and provide that nice sort of market competition with Steam. I don't see myself leaving Steam because I just have too much achievements, too many games. It's like a catch-22.
Yeah, I think I was speaking to Justin about this because I was asking, I said, oh, how many achievements do you have, and what would you say is your rarest achievement? And he says, no, I don't do anything like that because it's just a way to create brand loyalty. And he says, if something else is brought out, I want to be able to check out new platforms or anything. I don't want to be locked down into something. And it's like, oh yeah, that's quite smart actually. Yeah.
It works on me though.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm the same. I'm not really bothered about my PS4 trophies or anything like that, but my Steam achievements I really love.
I really like my Steam achievements, but I've been on Steam for decade and a half.
Yeah, this is it. So well, Steam needs to be shaken up a bit, so let's hope with this Epic Games latest competition they have a serious meeting and they actually do something from it, because they keep having meetings with content creators and then do absolutely nothing about it. So
yeah, my Twitch Prime game library is it's got a lot of stuff that's on my Steam wish list now, and I'm wondering, it's like, are you like doing analytics on what are the most like wish lists items on Steam?
Yeah.
I've got so many games that were on my wish list now on to the Twitch platforms. Like, well, I have it now. I don't need to buy it on Steam. I'm not gonna buy it on Steam because I now have it on Twitch. Looks like I'm going to be playing some on Twitch because Twitch is just getting good games.
Yeah.
But they don't have achievements on Twitch yet.
I know. I get it on both Twitch and because it's like, oh, it's free, and it's like, okay, whatever. It's like, oh, I had it on Steam anyway, so I'll just play the Steam version. It's fine.
Oh, Akio, that's a very salient. Yes, you have it on Twitch, won't buy it on Steam. Yeah, but you don't play it on Twitch because you forget you have it. The catch-22 of platforms. But yeah, I mean, and we're a bit of a Steam podcast, so we're a little bit biased, but we want you to do good, Steam. We want you to do good.
We criticize you because we love you.
Yep. And I guess before we get to the release list, we have a couple honorable mentions. They're mostly honorable mentions because these are not new games. These are both remasters and ports to PC. But we first have Katherine Classic, which... Oh, got the... Oh. Okay. There we go. View page. All right. So this is Katherine Classic.
Yeah, it's about a guy who I think he's like possibly having an affair with, or he wakes up with a woman who's not his girlfriend, and then it's like going through a mental breakdown of what he wants to do, and of course there is a bit of a twist, which I'm not going to reveal. So yeah, it's it looks. I've seen someone play it. It looks very well done. It's an interesting story, and I might play it.
It's kind of strange because it's like it's got this whole story thing, but then it's a block jumping game, which, from what I understand from Japanese RPGs or Japanese visual novels, is actually kind of common, where they have like a story, but then they have some sort of game form that's not really a game form you'd use to tell a story, but they do it anyway. So it's very interesting. It's like a block climbing game. Yep. So yeah, that's Katherine Classic. And an oldie, but it has a new set of paint. we have Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition.
Yes. I had this on the 360, played it. I was really, really enjoying it. Played it like halfway and it seemed to like ramp up even more. And then I stopped playing it for some reason. But it wasn't because I stopped enjoying it. I think something else turned up or I just lost momentum. So I've got this on my wish list. But it's like, you know, if you like Tales game, this is when they brought out the 360 version, I think they rushed to release, so they missed out a lot of the things. And the PS version, it had everything, but it was only released in Japan. But this has all of the things that you missed out on the 360 version. So I gotta get it.
Yep. Oh,
I love the cooking crafting elements in it.
Ooh, and the art style, I don't know if maybe this is the upgraded art style. Yeah, this is upgraded art style. It looks kind of like what was that game where you control the little guys? Oh, there was an RPG that came out this year, and it's totally escaping my name. JRPG. It was the second one in the series. It's gonna come to me at a random moment, but yeah.
when you're about to see
Ni no Kuni. Yes, it looks a lot like Ni no Kuni now.
Nice.
Yeah, which is definitely a compliment because Ni no Kuni is a beautiful game.
Yeah.
So very impressed. Ni no Kuni 2, that is correct. All right, and with that, I guess we're ready for the release list. Yes. So, just a warning, everyone, this release list is going to be a little bit long, but we're going to try to go through it in as timely a manner as possible while still getting to talk a bit. So, yeah. Our first title, Monday, December 17th, we have D.R.O.N.E, the game. Or Drone, the game. And, of course, it doesn't take me directly there. Nice. So this is one of the exceptions. I generally don't like to include early access games, but this one, from talking to people who have played it, it does actually feel pretty darn complete in this state. Like it's got a decent amount of content with more in the way. But yeah, this is D.R.O.N.E. So yeah,
that's kind of cool.
For those of you who can't afford to do like real life droning as a hobby and don't want to have to deal with all the legal issues that might come from that, you've got a game to do that. So
wow, it looks so smooth and it's interesting concept. It's like a what is it? World War II fighters, you know, those sort of fighters, plane fighters, and yeah, it's a bit like that, but with drones.
Yep, and it's really interesting to see a game that you saw all those placeholder assets, right? That even with the placeholder assets, the lighting is done well. The actual models of the drones are done so well that even with the placeholder environment assets, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. And there's a lot of and there's also like a creation engine in this game where you can make your own drones, you can make your own courses, etc. And that's got a lot of potential for players.
Good, yeah.
But yeah. If the week when it does finally come out of early access, we may talk about it again and see how it's come along, but it sort of depends on if there's any really great things in that week. So, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's not my kind of game, but I would know people who would like really enjoy this if it's, you know, when it does maybe fully release. Yeah, they might be interested in this.
Yeah. It is a pretty cool, and got kudos to the team. I'm still not a fan of early access, but hey, it's something that's neat. Anyhow, so the next one is a lark, Nippon Marathon. There we go. So, as you can tell, this game does not take itself seriously at all.
I think I saw someone actually play this, and it just, it looked absolutely ridiculous. I mean, but so much fun, much fun.
Yeah, it's basically, slightly more outlandish version of those Japanese game shows that every now and then you see gifs of and memes. But it's, it looks pretty fun. I have to say, it looks like it's definitely worth a stream or two. So.
Definitely. It just looks great. It looks great, and it looks funny, and I think for like £12 and £12 with friends, it would be great. But it says it's only local multiplayer. That's the only issue. Yeah, that's the only issue I have with it, obviously.
Oh, that might be kind of difficult. It does have a story mode, but if it's only local multiplayer, we don't have friends in real life, guys.
No.
Get to the 21st century. But yeah, recommended.
Recommended if you have friends.
Yep, if you have friends. So next, that's all for that. Now we have our big day, like for the next 3 weeks, like this next day, Tuesday, December 18th. All the games came out on December 18th, which is my sister's birthday. But it was just everything decided to come out this week. On this day. So this first title, Shennong, Taste of Illusion, I have no idea what this game is. It was just very stunning.
Sorry, I'm trying to bring it up. There we go. Shennong, Taste of Illusion. Come on, load. There we go. Yeah, it does look great.
I think it's a VR experience from the description. This seems to be sort of like a video you watch, but you can watch it multiple times because you can view things from different angles, see what's happening. So I don't know if it's particularly a game, but
it says it's got a story. It's an adventure story about a hero of prehistoric China, which describes a battle between Shennong and a beast from his illusion. And maybe his imagination, because maybe he's tripping on mushrooms or something.
And when you live and you're not the top predator, it's there's a lot of things you're scared of. So yeah, but it's a stunningly beautiful, very, very good art, and that's the main thing that I picked up on. I don't know if particularly this is really a game, but it is something. If you have that VR headset, this is something for you to load up. That's gonna look pretty good, which can be in short supply for VR games. But yeah. Well, VR experiences.
How much is it? It's
$3, and that's a $3 US.
Yeah.
So it's that's another reason I was consider it. Yeah. If it's not a game, but it's only like $3, you know what? You could probably easily get an hour or two of enjoyment out of this. Yeah. So.
Someone said this game is 9 minutes long.
It's 9 minutes long?
Yes.
Oh, dang. That's really short.
Then I don't think I can. Okay. I don't think I can recommend it unless they're doing any sort of follow-up or anything like that. So I don't think it's
righty.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Our next a lot of games from China have come out the last few weeks too. So the next one is Bladed Fury. So this is, I do believe next. It's been a while since I made the list, but I'm pretty sure Next Studios is from China.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, their patch notes are all in Chinese. Maybe they're Taiwan, but don't tell China I said the word Taiwan. but yeah, an action game set in ancient China. It's the main thing I've seen about the reviews is that the combat is very smooth. It's very smooth. It's very fast, and it's a lot of neat mythological Chinese mythology thrown in. There are different gods, demons, goddesses. So it's like a 2D God of War, but Chinese mythology.
So it's like good combat, good art style, meh story. Okay
Hmm.
for the price, which is
$10.
£7.19 for UK.
Mhm.
So, but there's a lot of people that have got the game and reviewed it. There's like already 86 people that have reviewed this game. So yeah.
Yep. You can probably trust the reviews on this one. And it does have English support, I'm pretty sure. Yes, not full audio. The audio is still Chinese. So, but yep. Rated Fury. And
not for me, but
yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think this could be really fun. I do like some of those 2D brawlers. I'm not very good at it, but I like to keep trying until I finally beat it, and that feels really nice. Also, it probably result in me doing a lot of reading on like, oh, what's this got a reference to? Because I did that a lot with did you ever please there was a Rome Total War. You could make temples to different gods. I always ended up reading up on them, and that was fascinating.
Oh, okay.
So
No,
I like mythology a lot, so I like reading up on it. Anyhow, so the next game
what's next? Yeah,
is Garden Paws, which seems to be a
it's like a 3D Stardew Valley, but with cutesy animals running around instead. Also a bit like my time at Portia. It's because it's got that 3D. It's more 3D instead.
Oh, you can be a little bear. Oh my gosh.
Or a little foxy. Yeah, you can decide what little animal you want to be.
It's also kind of like it's basically a mix of Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, I think. So
yeah,
it's got I don't know, it's really cute. You've got this sort of building system. You can build your own house, go and explore. The world does seem a little bit empty, though. I mean, maybe it's about a sandbox and you make your own fun, but
that's the thing, and that's the problem I found with my time Portia. I mean, when I did get it, it was in early access, but it didn't look like they were expanding very far in the actual world either. And the bits that they did have, it wasn't like, oh, there wasn't like, you know, very detailed like this. It's very kind of like sparse 3D animation like this. So yeah, it's a bit, there's some great elements in it, but a lot of it's like,
yeah, that's the thing. I would need to read a lot of reviews on this to see how the gameplay loop is like. So
yeah, and this is out of early access, so it's so someone says don't go near this game until they add real controller support. The existing system is completely useless.
Oh, I mean, keyboard support's fine, but yeah, if controller support's not great, that could definitely negatively affect some players.
I think it's I think it's depending on how much they've actually put into the game. And unfortunately, unless you know we try it out ourselves, you know, especially if you play these sorts of games, you kind of don't know. So you don't. It's £15.50 on for the UK people, and
it's
I'm not sure if.
Here.
So yeah, I'm not sure if that's worth it. Depending on it depends on how much you get.
And a game like this, it's all about the slow burn. It's about It's about building up your farm, and once you build up your farm after 20 hours, is there still more to do? Is it still engaging? Is there still new elements being added? If those are all yes, then you've got a great game. If those are all no, then you've got a cream puff, and it's just I'm done now. And then it doesn't feel very satisfying. So there needs to be a sort of nice end result. I am impressed with the amount of customization you can do with your avatar, though. Just looking at the screenshots, there's a lot of different ways you can make your character. So that's kind of cool.
I really do like that. So we'll see. I probably would want to look further into it before I make any sort of commitment, though. Definitely.
Yeah, this formula is so hard to get right.
Yeah.
But you know what? Kudos for them to entering into that formula. So, but yeah, Garden Paws. The next title is currently only in Chinese. It is Legend of Homebody.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to just give this an honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like the art style is like really beautiful. I guess you're kind of like looking after someone that's just like locked in or is a shut in, as as saying.
Yep.
And Japan, and you're just trying to survive, get them to just survive by staying in at home and getting deliveries and stuff like that. But the developer has said that if it is successful, they're going to have English translation. So it's one I want to definitely keep an eye on. So when it is a full release, we're definitely going to.
And you can see this sort of on that path there, because they have a lot of parts of it, like the description is translated. They have the early access description all translated into English. So, if they, it would be very cool if they ended up doing that, because this might be the game is purely fictional. Do not try this out in reality. Very good note. Yep. So. But,
yeah, I love I do like the little animation. So it's really nice. Yep. So yeah, and that's £4.79, and there is a demo if anyone wants to have a quick click around. So it's a free demo.
All right. Yep. And so it has sort of like the trick here is that the difference between like an okay simulation and a really great game is I wonder if like the ending, like when you succeed, is it going to have that really kind of poignant feeling of like, oh, I helped to shut in like. Finally re-enter society, or I am kind of curious how it's gonna be, what the end goal is. That's
why I really want to know what the story is, and how much they put into it. Someone has said in English that like the game is way too short, but it is again in early access still, so we'll have to see how it turns out.
Yep. All right. So our next title is The Spy Who Shrunk Me. This is a bit of a lolcow game where it just kind of takes a single element, like Portal, Portal making portals. And this one, you have a Shrinkray. And it just gives you little things you can do with the Shrinkray, like shrink people and throw them into shredders.
Well, it's like a whole story as well, because you are a spy and you're supposed to be getting I think even the mission is you're supposed to like grab the information, and you're supposed to like stop people that are potentially getting in your way. So it's also that stealth element you're supposed to go through and get the information and get out sort of thing. So I think and your special utility weapon is a Shrinkray. So it's like to me that was interesting.
It's got a cool like 1950s futuristic cartoon element to it, which is kind of nice. I like that. I always like it when there's sort of that retro future look. And you know what? I like Russian settings a lot. I really do. Having grown up on Russian literature and Russian movies, so I do really like stuff like that. So
yeah. This is in early access. It's currently £7.20. So I'm not sure if the game is long enough right now to warrant that price tag, but I think it's definitely one to follow, and we'll see how it shapes up. Yep. So
It's definitely a interesting concept, at the very least. It's a very interesting concept. A woman of my stature, I like that line. That's very funny. All right, so the next one is another VR game. Wait, is this VR? I might be confusing this with something else. Oh, no, I'm not. It is it? No, it's not. It's just for a person. Okay.
Yeah.
VR has me trained that when I see a first-person game, it's like, oh, VR. It's like, no, it's not. This actually looks really fun. This sort of like aerial shooting game, which is sort of fascinating. it's like a cartoony. What was that game that was an absolute failure? Lawbreakers. I'm sorry to bring that up. Yeah, but Lawbreakers. Absolute
I don't
failure.
know. I don't know.
But it's kind of similar to this, where it's like you have the grapple hook and you have the gun, and it's this cool little multiplayer fighter. It is $15, so getting all your friends to buy this. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Seth.
Yep.
Yay.
Getting all your friends to buy this might be difficult, but it looks really fun.
Yeah. It looks like nice, fast pace. Cool obstacles. You see, like you and your friends, like, having fun with this, but yeah, I'm not. Obviously, it's not my kind of game. I'm not a PvP sort of player, but this could be interesting for some people.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just it just seems pretty fun. It's very skill based, and of course they're doing that thing where they feature streamers. I don't like those trailers. I don't know. I find them annoying.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a real darn trailer, guys. Well, they have a real trailer, so let them pass. Anyhow, so that's Sky Noon. Yeah, it's super silly, and the sort of floating islands, but with Western aesthetic. It's a neat combination.
Yeah.
Because floating islands is usually fantasy, but anyhow.
Sorry. What have you got for us?
That's finally done with Tuesday. Now on to Wednesday, December 19th. We have Skater XL.
This is another early access game.
Yep. This one, it sort of comes in the spirit. So I played. There's a sort of series of skating games on the PlayStation, and this one actually kind of seemed to have basically an HD version of that. I think it was Skate. Yeah, Skate 1, 2, and 3. And I was just very impressed by this. Although, with it being an early access, I am somewhat curious about how much in the way of a world there is. Because the nice thing about Skate is there were quests, there were NPCs you could interact with, and this one seems almost like it's just you in a place where you're skating. Yeah,
doing see what tricks you can do. Yeah.
Kudos on the lighting and the physics and the animation, though. Like, great. Is the gameplay going to be interesting? It does have 1,000. Wow, that's a lot more than when I first looked at it. That's 1,000 very positive.
Wow.
Reviews.
Yeah.
So.
And let's see. It's £15.49 if you want to give it a go. You want to jump into the early access. But yeah, I'm looking at the band reviews here. It's essentially a tech demo. Maybe they will add more to it at some point, but it's currently not worth the asking price. And that's been posted recently. But yeah, I think it needs a lot more work.
Yep.
Currently, yeah.
Yeah, I would say I would want to wait for a full release, and hopefully it's going to come with some character customization, because that's a big part of games like Skate 3. It's just like making your skater and your skateboard look exactly how you want it. Also, there's a lot of different types of skateboards, and they all do behave physically differently. And are they going to account for that, or is it just going to be a standard skateboard? There's going to be no modifications. I'm sounding like a total skater bro here, but I've never ridden a skateboard. I've only played skateboard games.
But that's good, because you know what it needs to be a good skater game. It's like these are the things I'm looking for, and I better have it in the game.
Yeah, and the thing is, like with Skate 3, there was also like since it's in LA, there's a lot of these water tunnels that help divert
the flood
water.
Yeah.
And some of them are kind of vertical, so you can go like, they're sloped, and so you can kind of do this whole cool thing down these tunnels. Are they gonna have that?
Yeah.
Don't know. So here, I definitely say wait until it's out of early access. They've clearly got all the financial support they need to get there. With 1,000 reviews and probably 100,000 purchases. I would wait until it gets its full release, and hopefully it's going to have a full suite of content. They've got the basics though, so I am interested to see where it goes from there.
Yeah. So what we got next?
We have Hellfront Honeymoon, which is a fascinating name, I have to say.
Yes.
I believe this is one of the ones you recommended. I did not see this.
So, this was, I mean, it looks interesting, the game, but I think the most interesting thing about this is the fact this is by Sky Goblin. And Sky Goblin previously was the developer for The Journey Down, which was a 3-part point-and-click game. And very, very, very successful Sky Goblin game. So yeah, that was the first games they did, and now it seems they moved on to give themselves a break, with this strategy shooter game, and so I'm hoping they're going to be working on maybe a story next. Oh, thank you, Joshy. Thank you.
Josh Third think that, because they are amazing eyebrows. But yeah, this looks kind of like what's that? Helldivers. It looks kind of like Helldivers. Also, it's funny to see Brooke in a commercial. That's like a game trailer. That's pretty funny. But yeah, it looks like a Riot. Like it's sort of. Do they have a story mode? Oh yes, they've got solo and co-op missions.
That's great.
That's cool.
And it's local multiplayer as well as online multiplayer as well. So co-op and local co-op. So yeah, this you want to play with friends either in your living room or online, that is available to you, and it's $8.49 for UK. Okay, guys. And
the one thing is that, so I'm not very much a twin stick shooter, but the other thing is I really hope I could reduce the glow effects.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm not a fan of glow effects, guys. So I would really hope that there's a setting for me to turn that off. If there is, I would definitely be more convinced to play this, even though I don't generally like twin stick shooters. But okay. Alrighty, but I can be made to play twin stick shooters if it's with friends. Yeah. I can be made to play a lot of things if it's with friends. So, all right. The next. Why does this never show up when I search Counterfight? Okay. Oh, there we go. So if you erase 3, Counterfight shows. How funny. So yeah, this is Counterfight 3.
I'm not sure if you need 1 and 2 to really appreciate the game. But yeah, sorry, I saw this and thought another fun like VR cooking game. I'm not sure how 1 and 2 stack up. So yeah, or when they came out.
This seems like this would give me anxiety. So definitely not for me, but for those who like anxiety games, you know what? Have at it, because you get to throw things at criminals. And now you're shooting people.
So they seem to bring out one every year. So there's Counterfight in 2016, Counterfight Samurai Edition in 2017, and then Counterfight 3, which is the end of 2018. So this is so the guys know what they're doing.
Yes. And Tricol, I'm gonna guess that they're a French company. Just my guess. No one goes like tricolor and shows the French colors. It's like you're French, aren't you? Obviously. Let me see about.
It looks silly and it's fun. And it's $11.39 for UK. Let's see how many hours. I don't think people put a lot of hours into this though. It could be wrong. So
it's probably a short session game like most VR games, but it depends on whether it keeps you coming back. So
exactly, yeah.
But it is an actual game in VR, like
instead
nice.
of like we say the VR experience type. They're not even games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, but games like this, like also like those restaurant simulator games that used to be really popular as flash games. No, this
Yeah.
give me anxiety. I'm like, no, this is why I do not work in the service industry.
Why get paid to work in a restaurant when you can pay to work in a fake one?
Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm making espresso drinks, making a hot dog. Oh my gosh. Akio, so this is not the game for you because you would like to not be working when you're at home.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Okay, so what you got for us next? What goodies have you got next?
The next one, I don't really know what it is. It's 103. So this is
for Friday. Is it Friday the 21st?
Yep. Oh yes, this is Friday, December 21st. This is 103. It's sort of, so you have to go through. It's a point and click game, I believe. We have to go through and help Lily use her imagination, unlock her memories, and discover what happened and what is 103. It seems to be kind of grim with this weird Coraline-esque look to it. You've got these people that I don't know if they're supposed to be people or dolls. It's just a very interesting, sort of unsettling game that I don't want to look too much into because I might get spoiled. So, yeah. But it is intriguing, and generally I'm not a point and click type, but this one just has this fascinating aesthetic.
It looks more sort of like a walking simulator kind of game, rather than a point and click kind of game. I mean, they kind of join hand in hand almost. It's just like different perspectives, but it kind of looks like that Edith Finch kind of game, that coming from that sort of thought, you know what I mean? It's like with that you're unlocking diaries or memories of previous relatives, and this one you're unlocking memories of yourself. The problem with this game is it seems to be very short.
That's the catch.
Yeah, and it's £7.20. Are you guys doing everything that happened when you were off the air?
That is correct. Yes, we are going through everything that released in the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. We obviously are going to miss some stuff because we're limiting it to kind of just 20 games, but we're trying to give a nice coverage of the stuff that came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is 103. It's very striking in appearance. Unfortunately, probably short. So maybe wait until it's on sale.
Yeah, that's I would be kind of interested in this kind of game, but I don't know. It's a maybe. It's a maybe.
Yeah. Our next title came out on Christmas, and it is Heartbound. So this one is about so it's an RPG. It looks kind of like an RPG Maker game, maybe, but maybe not. It's got more graphical. It's probably not a RPG Maker game. Probably not. I don't know what they're capable of in RPG Maker, but anyhow, so this RPG game, it's kind of, it seems like you're sort of possessed, and it's about your sanity, like balancing your sanity as you do different things. It's interesting. It's sort of that this sort of cerebral pixel art games have definitely been showing up every now and then. So.
Yeah, this is another game that's in early access. So, and the problem with that, especially if it's like a story game, is like I wouldn't want to kind of spoil it for myself before I completed it, because it's like, well, are you adding more to it, or is it just sort of like it just needs polish, or what? So yeah, I for games like that, I kind of want to wait until it's for full release.
And as Akiho says, yes, I think this was definitely inspired by Undertale. As it's got that sort of it's got the RPG element, but then you have a game gimmick that that Undertale did.
There's a free demo, of course, so you guys want to give it a go. Try the demo first before you commit. And the game's $6.99 or something.
Yeah. When it comes to story games like this, unless it's like sort of thing where they gradually add the story at a fairly regular pace, you really need to wait for the full release. That's unless it's like a multiplayer game where there's more to play besides the story, so you can still keep yourself fresh in it. This sorts of early access games probably wait, but it definitely looks very interesting. So
yeah.
Alrighty. And with that, we're gonna go up to December 27th, my birthday, Thursday, December 27th, and we have the perfect game for me. Not really. So it is Pamali.
Oh, this is the 28th of December.
Oh, did it come out on the 28th?
Yeah.
Oh, it's saying 27th on mine. Maybe it's because of our time difference.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That might be why. But yeah, so Pamali, so I've lived with Indonesians the last 5 years, and they do have a lot of fascinating horror stories that they've told me. There's a lot of these really fascinating creatures and the scary things in the dark jungle outside your house. And I was just like, oh, you know what? This kind of speaks to me a little bit, even though I hate horror games. It's just because it has that sort of cultural context where it's like, oh, I'm sort of familiar with this stuff. It's neat. Also, it's really cool to find a game that I'm hearing Indonesian, which is the language I would always hear for the last 5 years. So it's neat to be able to go like, oh, this feels really familiar.
My concern is whether it's done well. Though. Marilyn Temple's raid. Thank you for the raid, Marilyn. Thank you.
Oh, hello, Marlin. Howdy. Welcome, everyone. We are just talking about the Steam releases. So how are y'all doing?
But yeah, I think it's like it would depend on how well it's done, because there are a lot of these sort of like horror walking simulator games, and they're just not polished very well, or not done very well, or they've got a lot of like cliche jump scares, and they just don't quite. They're just not slick enough.
Yep.
To incorporate that horror very well.
Indeed.
So I would err on caution. Although it's like very positive from users. So I would.
And the one thing they did fairly well with this is that they made a point of not showing the monsters. Now, these developers, they've done a few other things, basically starting in 2018. So they've got a few games out. Pamali's the first one to really get a positive review score. The other ones, I don't think they got enough reviews. Yeah, but they are an Indonesian studio, from my understanding. That's kind of... Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You want to, as Marilyn says, you got to leave it up to the imagination, because you can scare yourself so much more. Basically, yeah. Oh, I'm glad you finished 5 Days a Stranger. That it looked like such a great game. I want to give that a go when I have time from my list.
Yep.
But yeah, this is only $3.49, so if you want to take a chance on it, it's not going to cost you much.
Yep, so. £3 or $5. So it's a fairly low asking cost, and if you're into horror games, I may actually play this game just because I do have some cultural context. So
I think it's one of those really good ones to play on Twitch, because you got a lot of people that maybe don't want to play these themselves, like in a dark room on their own, but they don't like watching someone else reacting to it, or they love watching people react to it. So yeah, I think it'd be good to one for Twitch for sure.
Yep. And it just sort of follows that sort of Indonesian theme of if old things often hold sort of
Like
Like
memories.
yeah, they hold memories, they hold like
Mm,
spiritual power, and like when people die, they leave behind something.
yeah,
So they leave behind something ethereal that's always in that house. And so it's
yeah,
like, you know what, oh, that's kind of neat, that's kind of neat, I like it.
yeah.
Okay, so that was Thursday, December 27th. Now we go on to Tuesday, January 1st, and we have Cyberdrome. Now, this is a free-to-play game from SMU. I believe they're a game development school. Um,
Mm.
so they release free games every now and then. I believe it's like the graduating class. But they have 3 free games this year, and this is probably the best of the 3. But yeah, it's like it's basically, you know, a cyberpunk katana platformer battle game.
It almost looks like it would be like a VR game,
It
but
really does.
yeah.
But you know
You
what? It
know,
is free, so
yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. I like I love cyberpunk. That's the thing. I
mhm,
love cyberpunk. I love the art style, and you know, this is a graduate's
mhm,
final game at the school. Is looks very well done.
yep. I
So
see
yeah.
SMU. Yes, it's the Princeton Review's #1 graduate program for game design. So they've released quite a few games, and yeah, they are all free to play. So these are basically just a student production. They've been releasing them since 2017. I guess they didn't have anything come out in 2018. But yeah, they release things, and it's just something cool. It's something cool to sort of showcase, like, hey, this is what our college helps students create. That's a cool. It's basically college marketing.
Mm.
But yeah, uh, it definitely looks cool. It seems they've got some older screenshots with their newer screenshots because you have the pre-lighting and post-lighting effects. But yep, so can't argue with free. You got any thoughts?
No, it's just yeah, it looks very interesting, fast paced. And like I said, it's great if it's someone end of final year project. That's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Right. Wednesday, January 2nd, we have Breacher Story. Uh, my first thought seeing this game is sort of that, like, the cell phones, the interconnectivity of the world is so dangerous, sort of the dystopia.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that style of storytelling where it's like, where it's not the dystopic future, it's like, we are the dystopic future kind of thing. That sort of
All doom
paranoid.
and gloom. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Paranoia, doom and gloom, and I think they also are not quite I don't want to say not great with Steam, because on their description at the side of the box it says an interactive narrative in social engineering, and I think they mean social media, because the way they use their description further in the game, it's like because social engineering can mean means a
There's a
lot of
lot
things to a
of
lot of different.
different things depending on
Yeah,
what
exactly.
position you're coming from. So,
Exactly. So, and what they say is the usual skills in social engineering. Like, oh, you mean networking? You mean use your skills in networking? So you're talking about social media and networking. I think you should have used that word instead.
yeah.
So yeah, it's I think this is the first game from Doubleton Game Studio, and I think they're an Icelandic developer. I
Yeah.
think. Um
Double ton? Yeah, I don't really. Oh, they've got Life in Helsinki and Catalyst, so maybe? I don't know. I have no
yeah.
idea. But yeah, it's
But,
sort
but
of that. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, you're giving like it's like choose your own adventure almost, but
Mm-hmm.
you have like 2 choices to make in every sort of junction. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like multiple choice,
Yeah.
but you got not multiple. You only got two choices to make in either decision. So if you like this kind of games, and I kind of do, but this one seems a bit more um maybe less not as visual as I would have liked it. They should have put like visual novel in this, you know, tagged it as visual novel and choose your own adventure, maybe.
Yeah.
That would have, instead of just
Yeah, it
indie.
sort of depends on who the protagonist of the story is. Like, are they trying to manipulate people, or are they trying to avoid manipulation? Like, what is the goal of the protagonist? And I guess we don't know that because they're not very descriptive. So I'm left like, okay, but it does sort of remind me of, like, you know, every few years you see those articles on the news about, like, oh, cell phones are destroying the youth, you know, that sort of stuff. And it's just kind of reminded me of that. We live in the dystopia right now.
Yeah. So the game's like £4.79, and
sort of like
there's only one
review,
review,
I guess, in gameplay.
Yeah, that would be good. So it's about 2 hours long. So it depends on where you think it's. Yeah, get it on sale.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Breacher Story. Onwards to Thursday, January 3rd. We have Medieval Kingdom Wars. Oh, and of course they have a soundtrack for sale if Justin's there.
A new grand strategy game from our
so this is it's a combination of RTS and grand strategy, so, you know, sort of Rome Total War, but this theme's aesthetically closer to, say, Age of Empires.
Yeah.
Because let's not fool ourselves. It's the Middle Ages.
But yeah,
it looks very well done. There's a lot of detail gone into it, and you can tell someone's like really taking their time with this, and it's already gotten like a lot of attention. There's like, you know, over 1,000 so far, and it's mostly positive at 78%.
I do find the shadowing to be a wee bit heavy.
Yeah.
It's just a wee bit heavy, although I definitely prefer a bit brighter of an aesthetic. But you know what? It's it looks like it could be sort of an update of the old formulas.
Yeah.
So,
and that's it's a 20% off right now, so it's $12.39. So if you you know, maybe want to give that a go if it's your type of game.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, coming from someone who generally hates RTS, I still end up dabbling in it every now and then, because the historical context is sometimes very interesting.
Right,
and it seems they are going for a lot of historical accuracy to a degree, where, like, this is how they fought, this is, you know, what their cities kind of looked like, you know, just very interesting things like that. So I think it's kind of cool when games end up doing that a bit. So yeah, it really depends on just how the balance is. There's a lot of elements to this, but seeing it have mostly positive reviews, possibly it's 20% off right now for $16. I don't know how many pounds.
So I did say.
Oh, you did?
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Anyhow. Saturday, January 5th, we have The Eternal Castle.
So yeah, this says but this is like a game from 1987 that they've now remastered. So yeah, it's I think maybe the CGA will put a lot of people off. But you know, I the animation's really pretty. Oh, take care, Seth. Thank you for popping in. Take care.
All right. Yes, thank you for stopping by, Seth. The Eternal Castle. This it's just so striking, like, where it's taking the very old animation style, but upgrading it with the newer technology. Like, you would not have this many frames in the original game.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's definitely not very easy to look at necessarily. But it's very clever. It's this sort of retrospective of looking back on, like, where we came from in gaming and seeing if we can bring that very old aesthetic forward. It's an interesting thing that this year has had a lot of examples of.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I was talking to someone about place on it, and they didn't like the the CGA in it. So, but it's I still think it's interesting just to look at it, because you obviously you don't get. We were talking, like you said, you were talking about pixel games a lot, but we don't see a lot of this kind of striking style.
Yeah, there's like bringing forward Atari games kind of thing.
Yeah. But let's see, it's $5.99 right now. And it's like an action adventure, which is I do like adventure games, but I'm not I don't really like the fighting action games, but I'm sure this will hit a lot of people. A lot of people like this kind of thing, so I think if you like story games, if you like a bit of fighting as well, I think this will be very interesting for you. I'm not sure how long it is though.
Oh yeah,
like maybe 3 to 4 hours or something.
Probably, and it's going for about $10. It depends on how impactful the experience is.
Yeah.
How memorable it is. I would caution, this was with this being sort of an older art design and an older color scheme, I would caution epileptic people from playing this if you're visually affected. I'm epileptic, but I'm not visually affected, but I do, of course, grew up knowing a lot of other epileptic people. So this is probably not a game to check out if that is something you have a problem with. But yeah, because there's a reason, there is like an actual health reason why some of these color schemes aren't as common anymore. But if you're not in that category, it's just so striking.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with it. And yeah, it's cool that it's bringing something that older generations experienced, but giving it a fresh coat of paint so that new players could experience in it. And that's just neat.
Yeah, I like that. I love that.
Do you feel like Blade Runner, like the new Blade Runner movie, has sort of influenced a lot of games to come out? Get a lot of games to get updated. I feel like that.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Thursday. Now we're up to Thursday, January 10th, and we have the first game of that day is Aftercharge. So this is a arena brawler game that's based on a simple situation. You have the immortal defenders; they cannot die. But you're trying to defend an objective from getting destroyed, and then you have the invisible assaulters. So you're impenetrable damage, like maybe you can be stunned or something, but your enemy is invisible. So you have to figure out how to defend your goal while the people you're trying to fight against you can't see them.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
So it's this neat sort of asymmetrical competition. And it's you know what? It's a neat concept. I've seen games where it's like everyone's invisible and you have to figure out where the other people are. But this is the first one I've seen where one team is invisible, the other team is not.
That would be interesting. That was a challenge, definitely. I think it's like you really like arena sort of games. You like PvP type games. I think maybe you'd be interested in this for sure.
Yep.
So it looks very fast paced. But you have to like think about things a lot. But I think after a while, after you've done these maps, you kind of like figure out maybe quite quickly what you need to do.
Yep. You figure out the meta, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, if we do this and this, maybe there's only like one sort of way you set up traps, and they constantly do that. So, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope
the only way that games like these can survive is updates. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's 10% off right now. It's going for $13.49.
Yep, or $18 US. But yeah, it's your mileage will entirely vary on how much you play this, because it's it's a competitive game.
Yeah.
Right. Now, on an entirely different note, on Thursday, January 10th, we also had the game Bury Me, My Love, which Boy, that's this is clearly going to be a cheerful game.
So bury me, my love, actually means basically just take care. It's like, don't you dare die before me, sort of thing. It doesn't have.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You need to outlive me, so please bury me.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an Arabic expression. So yeah, it's this is a game I actually played at Adventure X in 2017, and it's just now coming out on Steam because before it was just for your mobile phone. So it's basically it's actually based on a true story from the Syrian refugees, and you're a wife, and the husband is saying, both trying to get out of the country, but you go at separate times. So you're trying to traverse Europe, and the only way you can keep in touch with each other is I think the husband is at home. The husband is at home taking care of family members because they've got like a very ill mother or that, and your wife is traveling across Europe. So the only way you can keep in touch with each other is through WhatsApp. And it's that you basically experience the anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen, because it's like if your family member is ill and it's like, look, I'm sorry, I've got to take care of your mother, something happened, I've got to take her to the hospital, and then you sort of like you're looking at that phone and you're waiting for when the next message is going to come up. Or if you yourself, there's a problem with you, happening with you as you're traveling across Europe, and he's waiting for you to reply on what's going to happen to you. There was a situation where there was a barrier at one of the checkpoints, and it's whether you could actually get through that checkpoint, and you're waiting there while they're checking everything and checking all your papers, and it's like, oh, are they going to get through? Are they going to get through the checkpoint? So there's this constant anxiety and just staring at whether you're going to get that reply from that person and if they're all right. So yeah, it's really, really interesting.
Yep, and it's just and this is also available on mobile game. Yeah, it's a mobile, which is which is fitting because it is sort of that's the expression of the game, is that it's happening on a phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very fascinating, and that's a really neat phrase, "Bury me, my love." I didn't know that was the implication, but it makes a lot of sense. That's really cool.
But yeah, that's $3.99, and the game is about like 3 hours, 3 hours long, like that.
Yep. Oh, 3 hours. That's actually pretty meaty for a game like this too. That's a pretty long story. That's nice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these games, they just kind of go for that 30-minute experience. So it's impressive that it's 3 hours, because that's a lot of writing, a lot of story that they have to make for. Okay. Friday, January 11th. What Never Was.
Grandpa was always full of life.
Sorry, I'm just bringing it up.
So this movie sort of makes me think of this game makes me think of a movie called Big Fish, which is about a son finding out about all of his dad's adventures and which ones were true and which ones were embellished and that sort of thing. So this one kind of immediately reminded of that, where it's like this granddaughter going through her grandfather's stuff. So.
Cool. It's like a cool, like, sort of puzzle mystery kind of game. Which I find fascinating. It's that again, almost like that walking simulator kind of look to it. You know what I mean? It's like you're picking up things and looking around, and it's from a first person perspective. But yeah, I'm wondering how long it is. Again, it's one of these things, these games, because if it's like a well thought out long story, then it's like they're really great. But if it's like, someone's saying it's going to take you about 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, but it is a free game.
Free.
So,
yeah, it's free.
So time, like when it's free, time really isn't that important.
Yeah.
This really seems, as a free game, it really seems as something as a way for more of someone to sort of build their portfolio and go like, hey, I've made a complete product. So
Yeah.
Halgren, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Halgren is probably going to try to get themselves into the industry, provided, and they've got very positive reviews, so I'd say that this is probably a very good portfolio if they're not an experienced developer. So
this is a good start. Good start for them.
Yep. And yeah, this was actually the final game on our list. I'm surprised. I was like, oh, holy crap, we're done. Wow.
I do have a couple of things to add. So we say like the games that we have revisited that people have tried.
Excellent. I love these reports.
So this is a roadie report. So I did play Merrily Perily over the holidays.
Yes.
And my first go of it, I died of diarrhea.
As one does.
As one does. So yeah. So I was thirsty. So I went to the well first, and the well was poisoned or something, and then I was like ring around. I couldn't find where I needed to go, so I died of diarrhea. So then I went somewhere else for my thirst. Gravy. I drank gravy instead from the restaurant people. They said they're giving out free samples, and I was ill. So I did find a hospital. I asked them, I'm not very well. They gave me the medicine. The medicine like gave me something else, and I had to find some place to sort that out. No, again, it's finding the chain of events. So you basically do one thing, it then gives you another peril, and you have to fix that peril. That peril would give you another peril. So it's like, I'm thirsty, and you go to a well. The well could actually have a tentacle come up and drag you down into the water, and so you could die from drowning. So you've got to escape the water. And when you come up out of the water, the mermaid thinks you're a stranger and then sprays you with something, so you're blinded, and you got to go like to the church to get healed. And they'll that you have faith, but once you leave the church, you lack faith, and you then start again with suffering from dehydration. So yeah, it's really interesting, and it's fun for like 20 minutes, and then you go away and you think about it and what other chain of events you cause. And there is a bit more to it, as you have to collect hats as well for this guy, and that unlocks something else. So I haven't gotten that far in it. So it's just fun, interesting, and hilarious. So it's a cute short game. I'd recommend it. I recommend it if you are looking for kind of a strange puzzler.
It makes me think of that RuneScape game. Well, in RuneScape, there's a quest called One Small Favor, where it's like, oh, one small favor. Oh, sure, I'll help you out this, but I need you to help me out with this. And it goes on this long chain. It's like an inverse of that, where it's like, oh, dear, I've got this horrible thing. Oh, good, that fixes it. But one more horrible thing, and it just keeps going. Anyhow, you were saying.
No, this is great. It's great. The next one is Deep Sky Derelict. This is one that Seth played. So he said, interesting game. However, and the artwork's quite nice and everything like that, but the instructions for it are very bad. It's like they didn't do a very good tutorial with it, so you end up being very confused on what you actually have to do, and you're trying to figure it out, and there's just not enough information there for you to actually figure out how you're supposed to play it, and they don't do a very good tutorial. So yeah, that's and you think they would have, especially with those kind of card games. You got what the rules, what you need to do in it. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's does it play at all like Darkest Dungeon?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. He didn't say.
Mhm.
So Akio's played it. He says I did find it cool. Yet it's part story and part random. So I would corner myself when the story ramped itself up.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, that's good to know.
Mm.
Any other reports?
No, that was the only two. That was the only two so far. I hope in 2019 I will have a lot more for you. And remember, guys, if you have played something that we've mentioned, or you're looking for some more indie games, do check out Dewey's YouTube channel, and you can check up again on these podcasts and play the games that we've mentioned, and of course give us some feedback because we'd love to hear what games that you've played from our suggestions and enjoyed or thought were terrible.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead and send a private message if you want to tell us or comment on the YouTube videos if you want to just mention your experience with the game, and we'd love to talk about it. So thank you. Yep. So shameless plugging, Brody Pie. Let us all know where we can find you on the internet.
Right. Well, I will be twitching the Dark Side Detective, and it's an hilarious point and click game, and I've just been enjoying it so much. You have each case is its sort of own separate thing, and they're short, like 30 minutes to 2 hours they take to complete. But they're just hilarious and amazing. It's an amazing game. So I will be streaming that. I'm thinking maybe doing on Monday night, because I will be out on Tuesday. So you check me on possibly Monday 9:30, and then on Monday at 9:30 p.m. UK time.
Hey. As for me, I am just starting to get back into Twitch streaming. I have a new job, and I have different transportation arrangements. At my old job, I walk to work, and this new job, I'm going to have to commute. So what days I'm actually available to stream is probably going to be a bit different, but I would say, for sure, I will be streaming on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays with a normal game stream, and Sunday with a, more of a Twitch, more of the podcast. My mind's going everywhere. Anyhow, I just want to thank everyone for showing up, and Akiho, thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, Deep Sky Derelicts is kind of like Darkest Dungeon, so the aesthetic is very much intentional. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone who stopped by. Hope you all have a great day, and let's just go into the post game now. So, bye.